Hello everyone, welcome to the Mechanical Studies. In this video, we are going to study internal energy, enthalpy and specific heats. In my previous video, I discussed on energy interactions like heat and work. Remember, those were energies in transit and associated with process. In this video, I will talk on energies possessed by system, and that's why these are system properties. So let's begin. Now, as we know, energy can exist in various forms like thermal, mechanical, kinetic, potential, electric, magnetic, as well as chemical, and so on. Thus, total energy of the system is sum of all forms of energy, which is denoted by capital letter E, and it will be expressed in unit kilojoule. However, total energy of the system per unit mass will be denoted by small letter e, and it will be expressed as capital E by m, whose unit will be kilojoule per kg. Kilojoule per kg. Okay. Now see, these various forms of energy can be categorized in two groups. First one is macroscopic forms of energies, which includes kinetic and potential energies, and the expressions of kinetic energy is 1/2 mv square or simply mv square by 2, and for potential energy it is mgz, where m is the mass, v is the velocity, g is the gravitational acceleration, and z is elevation from datum. Okay. Second one is microscopic forms of energies. Those are related to molecular structure and degree of molecular activities, and thus sum of all microscopic forms of energy is called internal energy, and that is denoted by capital letter U. Okay. So thus here internal energy per unit mass will be denoted by small letter u, and which is expressed as capital U by m, whose unit will be again kilojoule per kg. Thus here the total energy of system is summation of internal energy, kinetic energy and potential energy. Okay, and that can be written as, it is equal to, we can write total internal energy as mass into specific internal energy plus kinetic energy, that is mv square by 2, plus potential energy mgz. Okay, and thus here the unit will be kilojoule. Okay. Now on a unit mass basis, we can write specific energy as E is equal to capital E by m, and thus we can write on a mass basis E is equal to specific internal energy U plus v square by 2 here plus gz. So the mass will get cancelled here, and unit of this will be kilojoule per kg now. Okay. Now for stationary systems, as they experience no change in kinetic energy and potential energy, we can write for stationary systems change in total energy of stationary system delta E will be equal to change in internal energy delta U, and this is the case in case of closed systems. Okay, where total energy of the system or change in total energy of the system is equal to change in internal energy, delta E is equal to delta U. Now if we look at the control volumes or open systems, they involve flow of energy over long period of time. That's why it is convenient to express energy flow in terms of rate form, which is expressed as capital E dot, that is given by mass flow rate m dot into energy per unit mass, small e, where this m dot is mass flow rate in kg per second, and which is given as density into volume flow rate denoted by this V having dash, okay, where this mass flow rate is in kg per second and rate of energy is expressed as kilojoule per second. Now, after discussing internal energy, we will go to the next term, which is enthalpy. It's a very important term, especially when you deal with open systems or control volume. Remember here, just like in internal energy, enthalpy is also a property of the system. Actually, enthalpy is a combination property of internal energy and flow work or flow energy. So this is a new term again, flow energy or flow work. What is this? See, a flowing fluid always require an energy to flow across the space or control volumes, and this additional energy that fluid possesses is called flow energy or flow work, which is actually equal to product of pressure into volume. Okay, so you can see here this is analogous to the displacement work or moving boundary work in case of closed system. So we can write here an expression for enthalpy, which is denoted by capital letter H as H is equal to U plus PV, internal energy plus flow work, and here the unit will be kilojoule. However, on unit mass basis, we can write this expression by using small letters. H is equal to U plus PV, where small h and small u are specific enthalpies and specific internal energies, where small v is specific volume, and thus here unit of this will be kilojoule per kg. Since here product PV is equal to RT, which is equation of state, this is called equation of state, we can write expression for specific enthalpy as H, small h is equal to U plus this PV we can replace by RT. So this is again an expression we can use for specific enthalpy. Now see, absolute value of enthalpy is very difficult to measure. However, during analysis, enthalpy change is evaluated, and we will see after a moment how we can do that. But first we will go through two terms here, specific heat at constant volume and specific heat at constant pressure. Now this specific heat at constant volume can be defined as energy required to raise the temperature of unit mass of substance by 1 degree as the volume is maintained constant. Okay, and on the other side, specific heat at constant pressure is defined as energy required to raise the temperature of unit mass of a substance by 1 degree as the pressure is maintained constant. Okay, to understand the difference between these two terms, let's consider here helium gas heated at constant volume and at constant pressure separately in this diagram. So the values shown here are for helium gas. So you can see here in first case 3.12 kilojoule of heat is to be supplied to 1 kg of helium gas to increase its temperature by 1 degree Celsius when the volume is held constant, and that's why the specific heat at helium gas is 3.12 kilojoule per kg degree Celsius. Whereas in the second case, 5.19 kilojoule of heat is to be supplied to increase the temperature of 1 kg of helium gas by 1 degree Celsius when pressure is held constant. That's why the specific heat at constant pressure for helium gas is 5.19 kilojoule per kg degree Celsius. Now see here carefully, when the gas is heated at constant pressure, it undergoes expansion and an additional energy has to be supplied here to carry out this expansion work when the gas is heated at constant pressure. That's why you will find always Cp value is greater than Cv. Specific heat at constant pressure is always greater than Cv, and the relation between Cp and Cv is Cp minus Cv is equal to R, which is called characteristic gas constant. Okay, so this is in kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Cp and Cvs are conveniently expressed in kilojoule per kg Kelvin. The ratio of two specific heats, Cp and Cv, is called gamma. Specific heat ratio, gamma. We will cover all these relationship again in the video of ideal gas laws and equation of state separately. So you can watch that video later. Now we will look at the expressions to evaluate change in internal energy and enthalpy. Specific heat at constant volume can be also expressed as change in internal energy with temperature at constant volume, and this can be mathematically expressed as Cv is equal to delta U by delta T at constant volume. On the another side, specific heat at constant pressure is expressed as change in enthalpy with temperature at constant pressure. So that will be mathematically expressed as Cp is equal to delta H by delta T at constant pressure. Now for ideal gas, internal energy, enthalpy and specific heats are function of temperatures alone, and that's why we can convert these partial differentials to exact differentials or ordinary differentials, and we can write expressions like du equal to Cv as a function of temperature into dt, and second expression we can write dH equal to Cp, specific heat at constant pressure, which is a function of temperature, Cp as a function of T into dt. Okay. There's a change in internal energy and enthalpy for an ideal gas during a process from state 1 to 2 can be written as delta U. This will be equal to U2 minus U1, and this will be equal to integral of Cv as a function of temperature T dt from 1 to 2, whereas change in enthalpy will be equal to delta H will be equal to H2 minus H1, and this will be equal to integral of Cp as a function of temperature T into dt, and limits in between limits 1 to 2. Now considering constant average specific heats of a substance over the range of temperature, we can write these expressions again as delta U. This will be equal to U2 minus U1, and this will be equal to specific heat at constant volume, which is average specific heat at constant volume Cv into T2 minus T1, and change in enthalpy delta H, this will be equal to H2 minus H1, and this will be equal to average constant specific heat Cp into bracket T2 minus T1. Remember here units will be kilojoule per kg, and here also kilojoule per kg. So we can write them as delta U is equal to constant average specific heat Cv into delta T, temperature difference, and delta H will be equal to constant average specific heat Cp into temperature difference delta T. So we can use these expressions for any kind of process and any kind of system. However, change in total enthalpy or total internal energy can be found by considering mass of the system as mass into change in specific internal energy or change in specific enthalpy, like this. So at the end, there are three ways to evaluate change in internal energy and change in enthalpies. The first approach is by using tabulated data of internal energy and enthalpy, and we use this approach when we deal with the problems associated with steams, and we refer steam tables. Okay, so this is what the first approach. Second way is by considering specific heats as a function of temperature and performing integration over the limits. And the third way is by considering constant average specific heats. So this is the most easy and convenient way of evaluating internal energy and enthalpy change of a system. Most of the time we use this third approach while calculating change in internal energy and enthalpy of ideal gas. Thus, I have covered important aspects of internal energy, enthalpy and specific heats in this video. Thank you.